The broadcast is live. We're back. Welcome
Good.
to Table for 7 Billion. We have a reservation for you, and we're glad to see you, even though we can't technically see you.
My son over there.
It'd
So
be
this is
kind of.
team camp,
Oh, yeah. Olivier's at teen camp at the Berkeley Kitchen.
right? So yes, I did. I wanted
I
to
don't
keep the
see
show
any
going.
tents. I don't see any tents or campfires.
They cooked really well. They've been there since 10 o'clock this morning, Chef Kevin.
Oh, wow.
And my boy is somewhere. Yeah, there you go. Go back to
There he
work, man.
is. There's Finley.
I'm like, what the hell is it going on? Yeah. So this is really cool. Yeah, no. He was in the back. I'm like, no, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. Very good.
Oh, that's
So
great. So how old are the kids? I mean, obviously they're
yeah,
teens,
about
but
12 to 15
oh,
somewhere.
cool. Great. Great. Those are great ages. I remember it well. It was just a few years ago.
It's funny because people always say it's a great age.
Yeah.
It's a great age.
Yeah.
I'm always wondering, like, is there a bad age?
Yeah.
This is the back. So, you guys, today I'm going to be on my phone, right?
Yeah.
Because actually I'm working. I had the class this morning, plus the team camp, plus a bunch of stuff going on. So, but James is still on his office. It's great.
I never leave. I never leave this office.
You never left, right?
I haven't left since the last show. I really need a shower. And I'm
Oh,
starving.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you're here, you could have the food that they're making right now. That's beautiful.
Oh, that would be good. So it's Monday the 13th. Is that bad luck?
I'm not superstitious because it brings bad luck. Remember that, huh?
Right. Why do you suppose Friday the 13th is supposed to be bad luck, but any other day that the 13th falls,
Well,
you'd think it would just be the 13th, but I
the
don't know.
13. Yeah, well, that's the way it is, man.
It'd be interesting to know
13.
how that started.
I don't know. It's so funny, right?
It's not a food superstition, so I haven't looked into it, but I'll have to
Oh, we've done
investigate.
this. Those are great, James.
Yeah,
We've done those. Are really cool.
yeah.
And I know you
Uh,
have more. I know you have a great stuff you wanted to talk about today, right?
yeah.
It's
Well, I
the
had a suggestion for a topic from one of my regulars at Cesar. I have my Cesar cap on today. The clock is ticking. It's the countdown now. We have about 6 weeks left before
six
we
weeks
have
left
to
of
move
Cesar.
out.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
The good news is, and we're all looking forward. I'm pretty sure we found a space to move to.
No, no way.
Yeah, I can't announce it yet because there's still some legal stuff going on that.
Shit, that's awesome, James.
But
Listen,
I think it's going to be good.
you know, I'm sorry to cut you, but there was the other day I was on a call with someone in Saudi Arabia. Anyway, and he couldn't hear me, right? But he was
Uh-huh.
on phone, on Visio phone. I forgot where we were on Hangout, and
Uh-huh.
all I saw was this. I swear. And I was telling
Because
him,
he was
look,
holding the phone like
I was
this.
telling him, I said, turn off the camera. It's okay. Like he was like this, and he was talking to me. I'm like, no, turn off the camera. Speak to me. It's okay. But I was speaking to an ear. So anyway,
Maybe
that's
that's
funny.
just what he looks like. His
So
face
I
just
mean,
looks like a big ear.
so you guys, I'm in team camp right now again. It's really cool. Those kids are really awesome. This is my Berkeley kitchen we reopened. Pretty cool.
That's
So
very
anyway,
cool. Aren't you violating child labor laws there?
yes, 100%.
Oh, good. So anyway, we found I think we have a space, and John Holy, the original architect, is designing the new space.
So cool. I'm so
He's
excited.
back on board. We have a contractor lined up. We're just
Oh,
waiting to iron out some legal details, and then once that's done, then we'll be able to announce where it is. Um,
this is really cool.
I can't tell you exactly where it is, but it's in Utah. No, I'm kidding. It's in Berkeley. It's in
Oh
Berkeley
God.
and not
Is
that
it
far away. So
is it accessible by road?
yes, there's a road that goes right in front of it, a street. I don't
Wow.
know about public transportation, but
Right.
I know cars go by a lot, so it's accessible that way.
Oh
Anyway,
man.
so the clock is ticking. We have about 6 weeks left on Shattuck Avenue, so come and see us. But I have a regular, a guy that comes in most nights when he's in town, and he watches the show. And he had a suggestion for something for me to talk about today. I don't want to say his name because it might embarrass him since he gave me ideas about other customers to talk about. But his first initial is Patrick. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh well, I gave it away. Patrick's a great guy, and he loves all his fellow
Patrick,
regulars. But we agree that they're all a bunch of characters. They're
yeah,
some real eccentrics that come to the bar.
Patrick is really cool. Patrick
Uh,
he's come for a long time, huh?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Wasn't he born at Cesar or something? Was it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But we were talking about there's one of our regulars who comes in every night, again when he's in town. There's occasionally he travels, but when he's in town he's there every night, even on Sundays. And he likes his spot at the end of the bar, at the street end of the Cesar bar,
Which
because who wouldn't?
next time you James, next time you see him, you tell him this is my spot. But
Yeah.
when I'm not here, it's okay. When I'm not here, that's why my name is not there when I'm not here. I bring my little thing.
Well, we keep telling him we're going to put a little plaque on the back of the chair with his name on it because it's his spot. But he'll sit wherever there's a space on the bar. But then every time someone gets up, he will move a little bit closer. He and
My
his
son is not
girlfriend,
working.
they'll just move down a little bit. Oh yeah,
Go back to work over there.
he's just pretending to work.
He's pretending to drink something. I don't know what it is. Oh, reboot.
And so he'll just keep moving down the bar. He'll just keep moving until eventually he will end up in his seat because people just, come and go. And as soon as
Right.
somebody's up, he moves down a little bit.
That's
And
so
somebody
funny.
gets up and he moves down
You know,
again.
like Norm in Cheers.
Right.
Norm.
And we have some customers that when we see them come in, we kind of just think, oh, okay, I got to do this again. And then, but most of these nightly regulars, we see them come in and it just kind of puts a smile on our face. We just think,
Yeah, it's
okay,
true, man.
all is
True.
well with the world because
That's what Cesar's done. It really created I don't know. It's not a club because you don't discard other people. It's not like a club where only the initiated are welcome. That's not true. Everybody is welcome, always.
Right.
But there's a good feeling when you go there, always, huh?
Yeah.
And
That's why it's such a shame that we have to close it because it's such a hub of the community. People are really angry about it. They're really upset.
Some people, yeah. Well, the woman next door, whatever her name is,
yeah,
she's
that famous woman next door.
She has the idea for you guys. She doesn't like that success. She doesn't like that community.
And I think it's going to take her a long time to get open. So it's just
Doesn't
going to
matter,
sit.
whatever.
It's going to sit for a year.
What's done is done, James. She wants to take her place. She can have it and do whatever. Yeah. And she's completely breaking down that super community-oriented place. But whatever, it's
we're going to be alive. We'll be alive in a different
you need to move on from that.
Hopefully, we'll get open soon. And like I said, John Holy, the original architect, is back on
board.
board.
John is on board. Oh man, John is really cool.
He's really cool, and he's a really talented guy. He did a great job with Cesar, so I'm confident that he's going to do a great job with the next place. Huh?
He can draw.
He can draw. He can draw straight lines. They teach you to do that in architecture school. That's like the first year. That's all you do is you draw straight lines.
Oh man.
You can do it. Then year 2, you work on circles. And then year 3, you start drawing buildings. But he's very good and really nice guy. So is his wife. They're really nice people.
I know his wife. Oh, I knew his new wife. I knew his old wife and new wife. They're both
both of them. Yeah, they're both terrific.
So you guys, if you're wondering what I am, I'm sorry I'm working, but this is, I am in the back of the kitchen. This is the back of the kitchen, see? And I'm trying to find some space so I can talk to you guys, okay? Because I'm not at the Auckland kitchen. I'm here today. It's a little more
looks like you're in a closet, which kind of you are.
This is the backup, all the goodies, right?
Look at all that food. It makes me hungry. So yeah, we have so many characters that come in every night at 4 or 5 o'clock and sit at the bar, and they all drink the same thing pretty much. We know exactly what they drink. We put their drinks down.
they don't all drink the same thing. They
No.
drink the, they don't all drink the same thing. Each person drink the same thing regularly.
Yeah, we have one guy that drinks vodka rocks, another guy that drinks vodka martinis, another guy
Yeah,
that drinks gin martinis, another guy that drinks pilsner with gin on the rocks.
I
They
know,
all
right?
drink something different. One woman drinks Negronis,
So funny.
uh, and they're all wonderful. They're all interesting people. They come from all walks of life. I mean, they're not like super
Yeah,
rich
that's what I'm
snobby
saying.
people. They're
It's not like a club or some place where only the people that know the bartender and the waiter. No, you're all
yeah,
welcome. Of course, sometimes that people understand that it takes a couple of time for you to come to a place
right,
for people to greet you like like they know you. Of course, it takes a little while, but it's we don't we I mean I don't know now. I know not the same because I go there for drinks, but
hmm
I know people have always been very welcoming at Cesar. That's one thing that we've
yeah,
always you know unless
yeah. I mean
we're in a bad mood. That happens.
yeah.
Happens.
That's why that's our goal when anyone comes in is to make them feel welcome. We want people to feel like they belong there, even if it's their first time in. And we've had a
Right?
lot of first timers lately.
That's
People have
right.
told me. We've also had a lot of people that have come in, some of whom I remember, some I don't, but they've said that they used to live in Berkeley and come into Cesar, but they've
Well,
moved away and they've been away for 10 years and they're back visiting or something, or some of them have just moved back and they were very anxious to come to Cesar again.
yeah.
And
Great.
some of them have followed our plight on online. Some of them
Wow.
didn't know we were closing, and so it's fun. But it's really great. I mean, people. We have so many people that have moved away to other parts of the country, and whenever they visit, they make a pilgrimage to Cesar. Sometimes they're here every night while they're in town, and it's always great to see them. Like I said, some of them we remember, some
Right.
I kind of, some of them I remember really well, and I'm like, oh well, I'm glad to
Sometimes,
see you. I wondered where you were.
that's crazy. And I go to Cesar sometime and I see people I haven't seen in like, I don't know, 7 years.
Yeah,
It's like something really crazy. Like, oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
Anyway, so I like your stuff that you had, James, that what Patrick was telling you that there's some good input of some people come sometime and you have some like crazy what requests. I know we've done that a lot and I know people love hearing those stuff. But most of them are true. I mean, the one we have are true because, and some people are just really inconsiderate. It's very
yeah.
true, right? The thing they ask.
Some people are
Anyway.
just never happy, no matter what you do. That
Oh,
I had a
I would
girlfriend
put
like
it
that. No matter where we would go to eat, no matter where we went, the
true.
table was never right. She always wanted
I
to
would
move to another table.
so I would put it on the account as you don't know, ignorance. I think ignorance has a big things to do. Like you think some people go to a restaurant and they are so well catered. Like it's not always like that. You just you know
Right,
what I mean. Like
right.
anyway, whatever. Or the customer is always right. No,
Yeah,
no
you want
way,
the
man.
customer to feel like they're right, but
The
they're
customer is
usually
allowed
not.
to sit down.
Yeah. They're funny though. They're all great people. Some of them
Yeah.
we've even socialized with outside of
Oh
work.
yeah.
There
I know,
there are
right?
others that I gladly would, but just hasn't happened. And there's some that I don't want to socialize with. But it's
But
very
that's the same
few.
everywhere, James. It's the same in every
Yeah,
business, in
sure.
any kind of situation. Most people are great, and that's the same here in America. I came here, and the truth. Okay, I'm white, but the truth is, I've always been greeted extremely well, except for a few people. Well, yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's to me, it's uh the number one thing at a restaurant that you should do is make people feel welcome. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, even if it's a fast food place, even if people are picking up to go, I mean, you want them, you, y- if nothing else, you want to feel like you're grateful for
yeah,
their business. You're happy that you've come and decided to buy your food here. And when it's a restaurant, and especially when it's a bar, there's an intimacy that we develop, and we go to great lengths to try to make people feel welcome. Like I said, even when it's somebody that I don't know, that's never been
Okay,
in before.
we have a complainer. We have a complainer.
Oh, the time I came in with a note that asked, "Do you want to socialize with me?" Yes, no. Which did I say? Do you
I
remember
said,
what I
hell
voted
no.
for?
We would never respond no. We would say, hell no, man.
Hell no. Kenny, I hope you do come back in. I know Kenny's living on the other side of the country now, right? He's living
Or
in
something. Or on the other side of the road, something. On the other side of
something,
something.
something. I mean, the world is flat, so.
Hi, Kenny. Yeah, that's right.
But Kenny, we would socialize with you anytime. In fact, we do. We
Exactly.
socialize with you right here on the show. So
Except for any day finishes in Y. But
yeah,
any other day, yeah.
right. Any day of the week that has day in it, we're out. But any other day, yeah,
Let me
and
check on
never
my
on the
team. Let
13th.
me check on that team. Oh, they're eating. Good job.
Oh, great.
Nice. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, they're eating, man. They just made some really good food. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, okay?
I It would just make me hungry. I made lunch before the show. I cooked some leftover refried beans and rice, and I cooked it in a little bacon fat, and then I put a fried egg on top with some salsa. Ah, it was so good. Ah, good thing I use tag.
Back to work. This is my boy here.
Finn, we have to
Look,
have Finn.
Finn,
Hey,
you're going to be
Finn, how you
famous. You're
doing?
on TV. Look, you're on TV.
Why? It's like I'm seeing double.
Yeah. Jen, did you stop at Cesar today?
I did not stop at Cesar,
That's
but I'm
why you're
going to
seeing
Cesar
double.
later. I'll be there.
Right.
It's like seeing double, except one's taller.
He's taller.
He's
Oh
very
my God.
tall.
That is not good. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, he's bigger than
I'm
you
very,
now. See?
very disappointed.
Yeah, you've missed your opportunity. You should have been mean to him before. You were too nice to him growing up. That's the trouble.
Let me go to the kitchen a little bit. All right.
Yeah, let us see what's going on out there. Wow.
People are eating. Wow, look at that. Nice job. This is Kevin, Chef Kevin.
Kevin's been a guest on the show before.
Oh yeah, you need to come
On
back,
the
man.
old on the old show.
You have
Yeah,
to
we have
back.
to have Kevin back on. Tell Kevin that all the viewers have been begging for him to come back.
Hey man. Ah, nice. This guy is hungry.
That's great. Now you got to go have everyone sign a waiver to be on the show.
I think they did when they came in.
It's hard to do when you're doing a live show. Oh, now you're out on the balcony overlooking Shattuck Avenue.
This is the cheese boat.
Yep, yep. And to your right, underneath you, is Cesar, just a little bit
So
down.
Cesar is
Yeah.
right. Oh. Cesar is right there.
Yep,
Right there. And Japanese is right there also. And that's
yep.
cheese boat right across the street.
And
It's closed today.
that's Mount Tam in the distance. Mount
Ah.
Tamalpais. Yeah, very
Oh,
cool.
Kenny.
I made
Yeah.
proper quiche for my family yesterday. Homemade short crust.
Ah,
Shashamam
that's
and
great.
well. They're so confused.
That's really great.
Well, what else would you use besides a homemade short crust? You wouldn't buy a short crust, would you?
So, yeah. The short course is very easy to make.
Very easy. Takes
You know, maybe I should.
minutes.
We can show that on the show.
Yeah,
It takes no time at all.
I know it's very easy and it just takes minutes and it's fun to do. My wife's been doing a crust lately for her tarts that she learned from Jacques Pepin, where it's his grandmother's crust, where you make it and then you just, instead of rolling it out, you just push it into the pan. So it's a wetter dough, and you just push it into the pan and spread it out, and then you bake the tart in it, and it's wonderful. It comes out very flaky. You wouldn't think it would, but it does. It's very flaky and tender.
So let's do that next time. Let's make a little dough on the fly.
Okay. Yeah, we
I
need
want
to
to show
start
that.
making dough. We
And then
need
you
to
can
start
freeze it.
making dough from this show.
So you guys, we can freeze it.
Yeah.
And also that show is recorded on YouTube. So if I go too fast, you can go back and look at it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't do the crust right. I was in a
Okay,
hurry.
Kenny, I can show you how to make a really perfect crust. Super easy. The trick is lots of butter and sour cream. Ooh,
Yeah, yeah, and ice cold water.
yeah.
You want
And
the
lard is
water to
good
be ice
too,
cold.
but
And you don't. And there's people always say, "Well, how much water?" And they have in recipes they'll say a
very
teaspoon of
little.
water, but you don't really measure it. You use it until you don't need anymore
Right,
because you
exactly.
want to
Right.
be careful. You don't want to make the dough wet. But that
Yeah.
water, what it does is it's once you bake it, it turns to
Binds
steam,
it.
which raises the everything and makes the layers and the fluffiness in the crust. It's really
It binds it. Right.
quite an amazing little bit of chemistry. Yeah, yeah. So let me see. What else do the customers do? I mean, a real laminated crust. I did ice and kept freezing butter bits and kept my
Yeah.
hands cool. Well, that's good.
Not
Yeah,
nice. Hey, man, that's beautiful, man. We want to see pictures.
yeah.
No more talking.
I love a good pastry crust, but
Yep, yep.
yeah. We have a customer that comes in fairly regularly who wears a great deal of perfume. And a lot of customers get really bothered by it. They're sitting at the bar and they're drinking wine and they're eating and she comes in and it's so much perfume that they can't taste their wine. They can't.
What? What did she do?
She just wears a lot of perfume. And
Oh,
it's
crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy. I know. I tell people, it's very difficult to tell people. How do you explain them?
MFK
How,
Fisher, the famous food writer, wrote one time that she was invited to a wine
how do you explain to them?
to be a judge at a wine thing, and she just didn't know. She'd never done it before, and she wore all this perfume. And the guy sitting next to her was a professional wine writer, and he just
Oh my
flipped
God.
out. He said I can't sit next to you, and she was really embarrassed. But she learned her lesson. She never did it again. She
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but he just said
That's really cool.
I can't taste the wine with you next to
Oh
me.
my God, that's really so nice of her. What a smart and cool woman.
Yeah,
That's
she
great. You know, it's fantastic when people just react to a very sensitive stuff that you want to tell them in the restaurant. You don't wear strong perfume. That's just the way it is, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
and you see when. So I used to go in some nice places, like George Bourne, whatever, all those places. And then there's always one or two person that wear tons of perfume, and the chef sometimes is going to go tell them. He says, I
It's a
can't.
delicate thing, and
I
you know,
know,
some women
but
just have to wear perfume,
and that's okay in general, but not in the restaurant. You can't do that. It
well, you don't
stinks,
want to put tons of it on. You don't want to be just be
right? But also, you can't smell, you can't taste anything.
right.
It's too much.
Yeah, sitting next to a person like that is just the worst.
And how do you say something without like it's
I don't
so
know. I don't know.
anyway?
Anyway, I mean, most people just avoid her because and there's a couple of
But
people that come in that, you know, you walk by a table and it just kind of hits you in the
oh my God,
face.
yeah,
It's
no.
like, oh my God.
How do you pair with that?
Yeah, really,
Yeah, I
really.
like to pair the wine with that hyacinth or whatever that flowers that she's wearing.
Yeah, God, it's amazing. I don't know why you'd want to walk around like that anyway, that be that
I,
strong. I mean,
it's again, it's ignorance. Some people don't realize that it may affect other people. They think it smells good on them. It's like
yeah.
uh,
Can't send a photo here, so I sent some to Chef Olive.
oh
Okay.
man,
Well,
it's
you can
starting
find them, or you can show them next week.
next week
Next
because
week when you make
I'm
the
on my
dough.
computer now. I mean,
Phone.
my phone. I'm on my mini computer.
Yeah. All right.
All right, tell us
So
your
I have
file, man. James, I like your idea today.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about customers, and I wouldn't talk about them in a mean way because we love them all, but they are characters. And there's
And
one
smoke.
guy,
Yeah, well,
that brings me, yeah, sommeliers who smoke. That's an interesting one. We have one
you
guy that
know,
brings me cigars, and he has a voice that can be heard blocks away. He's just got this huge voice, and he always seems to talk at the top of his voice.
Oh yeah.
And he's usually listening to a ball game or something on his headphones. So
Okay.
he'll just yell out to us, "Oh, they scored another run, Jimmy." And he's yelling, and everyone in the place turns and like, "What the hell was that?"
Oh, it's funny.
I saw him downtown once. He had given me a cigar. This was pre-COVID, and he had given me a cigar, and I saw him downtown, and he was on the other side of Shattuck, and he was starting to cross the street, and he sees me, and he just yells out. He goes, "Did you smoke that stick yet, Jimmy?" And everybody's turning and looking at me like, "What the hell?"
What the hell?
And I'm sure they
What's
thought
smoke?
we were talking about drugs or something,
It's
but he
Berkeley.
gives
Would
me
you
great
expect?
cigars. He's very generous. I usually buy him a drink when he
Wow,
does, and
you should.
but I like his cigars. They're very fresh. I
Right.
always I always kid him and say that he has to go down to the docks at 2 in the morning and meet the boat from Havana that comes in. Even though they're not Cuban cigars, I think they're from the Dominican Republic, which makes very good cigars. They make cigars all over the Caribbean. But,
I found two Cuban cigar in an old box I had at home,
oh, really?
and not just 80. I found a Cohiba
Oh, no
and
kidding. Those are
a
my
Monte
favorite.
Cristo.
Wow.
Whoa. I
Were
mean,
they
they're
any
old.
good? Were they too dry or?
I just rehumidify them. They should work, and I don't know, but it's crazy, yeah.
If you need
Oh,
me to test them out, I'd be happy to.
okay.
I
No,
used to
I think
bring I used to bring Cohibas back from when because I went to Spain a lot in the 90s, and before I would come back,
right.
I would go to the duty free shop at the airport and I'd buy just like a big bundle of cigars, Cuban cigars.
One day
And
I wrote. Oh, sorry.
I'd come back through customs and they'd say anything to, I'd say, "No, I don't have anything to declare." And they'd say, "What was the purpose of your trip?" And I'd say, "I'm press." And they'd just say, "Oh, go." And I'd
Uh,
have bottles of wine and sherry and cigars in my coat, and
I used to
nobody
bring.
ever stopped me.
I used
Cheeses.
to bring cigars from France to the US, and then one day they stopped me, and I'm like, damn, it was a whole box of beautiful, some type of Monte Cristo probably, or And then I said, okay. I took two of the cigars. I went back in. I went outside. There was a smoking area at the time,
Yeah,
at the old time, right? And I smoked them. And I was so stoned when I went back to the plane because it's very hard, right? And I had
yeah.
about 20 to half an hour to smoke those, and but I left the rest. I wanted to throw them and tear them, and I could not. I could not do that. And I told the guys, throw them or smoke them, whatever.
You should
I
have
don't really
taken the
know. Right?
you should have taken the whole box back into the airport terminal and just said, "Hey, I just had a baby," and just start handing them out.
And what I learned though is if you remove the ring, then they cannot remove them. So the one I came out after, that was
Oh,
in
so they can't.
1984, 1984.
So there's
So you
nothing to say that they're from Cuba, in other
Yeah.
words.
So I removed the ring, and then they are just cigars.
Oh, that's smart.
So
That's
you can
smart.
sell them, but I don't care. I don't want to sell them. It's just for me.
Yeah, yeah. I don't smoke cigars often,
Right.
but I really like them. And you want to take your time with a cigar.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not
It's
something
about
I
2 hours.
rush out and do like you smoke a cigarette. I like to sit in the garden. I get
Two
a nice
hours, man, for me
Yeah, I get a
at
nice
least.
glass of something and I sit in the garden with a book and I smoke, and it's really relaxing. 12
12
mixed
bottles
case.
is nothing, Kenny. People bring wine all the time. 12 is
He's
nothing.
saying, but he's saying 12 cases.
Oh, 12 cases.
Yeah,
Whoa,
that's
shit.
how do you even care? What do you have a forklift or something? I mean, wow. Yeah. I used to buy a lot of wine in Spain because we'd go to these places that would host these dinners and they'd often be in a wine cellar somewhere. And my friend and I would see all these great bottles of Rioja that were really,
I
you
know,
know,
right?
some of them were 20
I got
years
some
old.
good ones here. Some people brought some really good wine. I got some cool wines here, actually. I forgot. Anyway.
This is a real behind the scenes look at Kitchen on Fire.
Oh, I know. There's so many things here.
It's full of stuff, but it's very clean.
Well, we try. It's very difficult. Really difficult because the chef. So we're full blown often now. We're full, and so we are very busy. So it
That's
gets a little
great.
messy. But you know who comes on 10 minutes? Lisa.
Oh, really?
Comes regularly. I know, poor woman. My God, Lisa, my
Lisa
business partner.
Lisa
She
is Chef Olive's partner in the business.
my business partner, and she hates the. And it's great because when she comes here, man, it looks beautiful, and I'm so happy. And I
She's
can't.
also she's also your sister-in-law.
Yes. What's my sister-in-law?
Sister-in-law. She's married to your brother.
Yes, that too.
Yeah. So you have to behave yourself when it was I had a baby in my back too. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
well good. I'm glad to hear it was your baby. That you weren't just carrying some random baby around. Did they allow the baby through customs? Did you have to prove that was
That was for not for resale, right? No, no,
Oh
it's
my
mine.
God.
I'm keeping it. It's for my own consumption.
Yeah, I bought it in France.
Somebody dropped this. Absolutely. Look.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Oh man, I see people with little kids at the airport, and I feel so sorry for them, especially when there are. I mean, if everything goes according to plan, it's fine.
What
But I've
plan?
seen people in airports when their flight's been canceled, and
Oh
suddenly
my
they got to
God.
sit there for
Oh,
6, 7 hours. What a nightmare! Because the kids don't understand, and they just want to play and they want to
I
eat.
travel with kids. It
Yeah,
happens. Whenever,
it's
I travel with my boys. What are you gonna
it's
do?
hard sometimes.
It's
I
hard, but whatever.
yeah, I saw a woman alone in the airport once in Denver. She was making a connecting flight, and she had 3 boys. All the littlest one looked like he was about 3, and the oldest one was probably 7. And she was all by herself with these 3 boys, and I just thought, man, you are brave, girlfriend. But they were all pretty well behaved, but they were boys. They wanted to run
They
around.
run.
They were wrestling with each other, but sometimes you just have to travel and you have to take your kids with you. Oh, that's
Can't
cool. She
say
has
you can't
fun
you can't say boys anymore. You have to say humans with
humans. Yes.
unknown whatever.
Humans with X
With
chromosome.
whatever.
Men have
Yeah,
X
right.
chromosomes or Y
Can't say boys,
chromosome.
or you can say anything on public. You have to be
Yeah.
careful now.
Yeah. Oh well. Um, can I still say granddaughters, or do I have to say grand people?
Grand,
And can I say grand? I mean, is that
grand. You say grand. I got my grand.
I got my grand? I have a grand dog too.
Yeah, we should talk. We should have to talk to the dogs, man. We need to know how they want to be called also.
Yeah. What kind of pronoun they prefer?
Yeah,
I always feel bad when I see somebody's dog in the restaurant and I say, "Oh," and I want to say, "Oh, good boy" or "good girl," but I don't
I
know.
know.
So, good dog. Good dog. The dogs don't seem to mind, but
You
the
don't know
dog,
that.
dogs never mind
That's
if you
something
get
we
their
don't know.
gender wrong.
You have no
Maybe
idea.
they are. Maybe they're grossly offended. I don't know.
You have no idea.
Yeah. Oh well.
All right. So James, you had
I have
some
some questions. I have
yes,
some questions, and I don't know if they're stupid questions or not. I don't think
coming
they're
from
stupid.
you.
But this is a subject I've wanted to talk about for a while, and somebody wanted to know about
Ah,
enameled cast iron cookware, and
oh, it's different.
what is it better than cast iron, and
I
and
would say yes.
what the deal is with enameled cast iron. So enameled cast iron is the most famous company is Le Creuset, which is what most people know. It's sold everywhere here in the United States, made in France, of course, but it's sold everywhere. It's like one of the most common. It's probably the first enameled cast iron to be sold in this country. It's been here since the 50s, I think.
I have a bunch. I have a bunch of Laconia somewhere. Where are those? Somewhere.
Yeah, I could get some from upstairs. We have a whole bunch of it. We have some beautiful
Yeah,
Creuset cookware.
I've heard of Le Creuset. I have Analon Le Creuset. I have a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
there's other brands. There's a lot of brands, and they're all good. Most of them are
yeah,
good. And then we also have a lot of plain cast iron. And so the short answer is that it's not better or worse. It's just different. And we use it for different things. So enameled cast iron, you start with cast iron, of course, and what they do is they heat it up because cast iron is very porous. So you heat it up, they get it very, very hot, and then they dip it or pour it over something, this molten enamel that, and because the cast iron is so porous, the enamel really gets into the iron, and really, so it's almost impossible to chip it. You can chip it, but
Right.
it doesn't flake off. Like the old enameled tinware, you can, if that gets chipped, it just keeps coming off and there's bare spots. But enameled cast iron is very different because it really becomes part of the metal, part of the structure of the thing, and it's like a glass like surface when they're done. So it's
Ceramic,
very,
ceramic, right?
yeah, and it's beautiful to cook with because
Right.
it's intended for cooking on top of the stove, because what you do is you basically are creating this little oven,
Yeah.
and you can do all kinds of things in it. They're great for stews, they're great for roasts, they're great for braising things, soups. We use ours for all kinds, and we have different shapes and different sizes, and we use them for all different things. Um, oh yeah, oh yeah, and they have those Bakelite handles, which are great, which are not so great in the oven, but that's why it's intended for the stove top. So one thing you don't get from enameled cast iron is you don't get iron. So when you cook with cast iron, you actually get iron in your food, which is good for you as long as you don't overdo it.
No, that's the no. It's not.
It's not.
No, that's the thing. You have to. It's.
Well, you don't
If
get a
you wanna,
lot.
right. So iron is a complicated. I don't want to talk about it right now. We'll do a talk on iron. I'd like to have
Okay.
Lisa on the show. The problem is that iron is not the same. You have to remember that iron is bound to, like when you eat meat, it's bound already to its absorption. In vegetables, you have to bind it with vitamin C if you want to absorb. Iron can be, an overload of iron is not good at all. So too much iron is not good. That's for sure. And when you eat too much of the cast iron, you may get too much iron that is not really the good one.
Right.
But I can explain that a little more next time. But it's so you want to alternate. You don't want to cook every day with iron, for sure.
No, and I don't cook long, slow things in iron. I use
Yeah,
iron mostly when I'm cooking a
yeah,
steak or
yeah.
things
Exactly,
like that.
exactly.
We will do
But don't
pancakes
put any
with cast iron.
tomato, white wine, nothing acidic.
Right, right.
Right,
So, but yeah, everything gets cooked, and after you cook food, you don't want to leave it sitting in a cast iron pan for a long
right,
time. You want to take it
exactly.
out of the pan. It should really just come out of the pan
And it has
immediately.
to be cleaned up and washed and then dried up because it will
Yeah,
rust.
yeah, you don't want to leave it wet. But I do wash them. I usually put I'll wring a little soap into mine and let it sit in
There's
the pan for a minute.
Kenny, it's more complicated than that. It's something called iron overload. It's deadly for all cell. It's yeah, it's very very bad. Not that you don't need iron. I'm just saying the iron has to be kind of very precise. But let's not go into that right now too much.
All right,
But
we can talk
but
about it
iron
another
overload
time.
is a big issue. Yes.
But I love cooking in cast iron cookware. I don't love cooking everything in cast iron cookware. I use it for very specific things. And
I
like
like meat, fish.
right. And like
You
you said, I
know,
don't cook a lot of
piece
like
of chicken. Yeah.
heavily acidic dishes. Like I don't cook tomato sauce in there. I don't cook tomato sauce that often, but when I do, I use stainless steel or I use enameled cast iron because it doesn't react, because the enamel
So
doesn't let
cast iron
things
are really
react.
great. They cook the steaks perfectly. They cook things really cool, fast, and beautiful.
Right.
Make a beautiful crust. Absolutely, yes.
Right, right. So
Ooh,
I do steaks, I do hamburgers in a cast iron pan, um, stuff like that. So, but again, that's fairly quick cooking because it only
yeah,
takes a
it's
few
hot.
minutes to cook a steak.
It's hot stuff.
And I'll either finish it on the stove or sometimes I'll just sear it and then put it in the oven and let it finish cooking, which is a great way to cook a steak because it
That's right.
gets cooked evenly, but you still
Yeah,
want it. I like it to be really, really pink inside. Um, so
right.
that's the answer. That's the difference between enameled cast iron and cast
Yeah.
iron. One is not better than the other. I think enameled cast iron, we probably use it more. But you know,
Well,
Uh,
there's less iron leaching, that's for sure.
right. Yeah.
So
Well,
that's one way
yeah.
to. The iron is not going to leach in your food as much, and this is a
Right.
good thing.
Right.
Not,
Probably
I'm
not
sorry,
at
but
all because you've got
the,
this
the thing
like
is, I
ceramic
want people to
surface
understand is if you're looking for iron, you want to get it from the food source
from food.
or
Right.
some supplement. If the doctor is I want you to get some more iron. Some people are deficient. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would not think of getting it from my cast iron. That's me. It's possible.
Yeah. All right. So I had another question here. Oh, these are a
Oh,
couple of
cornbread.
personal.
Yes,
These are a
cornbread.
couple.
That's a good one. Yep.
Cornbread's good in a cast iron skillet because there's nothing
Mm,
really to react with the metal in
right.
cornbread. It's pretty inert.
Oh, I can
So,
put my phone here.
oh, the other thing I like to cook in cast iron is a Spanish omelet, tortilla.
Really?
Yeah, I usually cook those and I cook them and then I finish it in the oven. I don't flip it. I just finish it in the oven and then I take it out of the pan as soon as it's cooked. I don't leave it in there. Put it out on a cutting board and cut it up into wedges. So you probably remember these questions from long ago when these were all from the exit survey for Kitchen on Fire, and this one
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah,
thought
yeah,
was
yeah.
interesting. These two questions. What advice do you have for someone who doesn't like cooking to learn to enjoy it? In other words, how do you teach somebody to enjoy cooking? Um, that's an
So
interesting question. I mean, some people are never going to like cooking. They're just they
right.
just
So I
don't
would
like. They're
say
not interested,
do simple stuff that are very nutrient dense, so you don't have to cook forever, right?
right?
And clean up as you go. I tell you, the worst is the cleaning, right?
Yep.
So if you cook in the oven, like if you roast stuff, the stove stays clean. It's much easier. And otherwise, just clean up as you go. Because if you clean up as you go, it's going to be much easier to do again. If you stop when you when you're done cooking and you look at your mess, it's very discouraging.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, for anyone, that's very discouraging. So that's one thing that would be helpful.
And that's also a good reason to cook simple things.
Yes,
You don't need to use
yes.
5 different
No,
pans.
no,
Use
no, no,
one
no.
pan. And I think also if you start with very, very simple things, you get success right away. When you
Yeah,
get success, it gives you more confidence. It's more fun. It's fun when you do something and it turns out really well and you can sit
yeah,
down and eat this delicious thing. And I think for a lot of people, they don't like cooking because they're intimidated by it or they've had bad experiences. They've tried to cook things that were sort of beyond their ken and it was a disaster and they said, oh, I can't cook, and I mean anyone can learn to cook, and I think that the key is to start easy and to cook simple things that you can have success with right off the bat, and that's
yeah.
going to build your confidence. Some people have no interest in cooking, period,
Right.
and they're
They
never
just want
cooked,
to feed themselves, which is fine.
and
It's
that's
fine.
fine. They can
Uh,
support restaurants
it's
and
absolutely fine. Yeah. Just make sure if you cook for yourself, you're going to eat better food. You're going to be healthier, and you're going to feel more confident for sure. So all these are very, very important aspect of cooking. Even if you don't like it, you benefit from it, from your health. It makes you confident. It makes you more, grounded. You
Mhm.
understand where the food comes from. You can really, really target nutrients, whatever you're looking for, right? So for me,
Right.
it's meat, but it could be.
And even if you only have a couple nights a week that you have time to
Oh
cook,
yeah, yeah,
cook something simple. Roast yourself a
yeah.
chicken, cook a piece of fish, whatever. And in time you'll get better at it. It'll seem easier, and then you'll start be able maybe make
That's
more
right.
complicated things. I don't.
Hey, Timo,
I never
I'm
cook
going.
really complicated stuff.
No, me neither. Hey, listen, I need to go in about 2 minutes. I
Okay.
didn't want to. I didn't want to miss the podcast because it sucks. But I do
Yeah.
have to go back to work.
Okay.
At the end of the team camp, I need to close these guys out. They're
Well, we'll
beautiful. They're really cool. This is Thursday. They're
Well,
doing
we'll
a really
sign
good
off
job.
a little early then, but I'm glad that you were able to be here. We'll do a regular show next week. We're gonna we have some more guests coming up too, which we'll talk about. And we will be back next Monday at 1 o'clock, and we'll do a pastry demo.
Oh, Okay. So we'll do a pie dough.
Pie dough.
Pie dough. Let's do
Pie
French
dough.
pie dough. And I'll. Okay, great.
Yeah. And then we can show various, you can blind bake it, you can not blind bake it, you can do
Oh no
different.
no no. We're just gonna make the dough.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Well, good. Well, it was great to
Great.
see
Good to
Team
see
Camp.
people.
Great to see Finn. Glad to see he's
I
not
know. He works with
off
me
the
all team
streets.
camp, man. This guy is.
That's great. That's
All right,
great. He's a
people.
good boy.
Jen, good to see
So
you, my friend.
he's a good non-gender specific person.
He's really cool, man. Cool boy. Oh,
All
cool.
right. Thanks for
All
joining
right.
us, everybody. We'll
Bye,
see you next
Kenny. See
week.
you, man. I'll see you next time.
All right. Watch
Bye,
out for those
guys.
babies in the airport, Kenny.
Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Bye, bye,
Oh,
people.
Stephanie. Oh,
Bye,
she's a
guys.
customer. She's great.